Time check. It's time to bring you the evening news right here on your nation station, DBS Radio. Next time you hear the sound of my voice, we'll be
fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, police are investigating the discovery of a decomposed body in the Capuchin area. In the region, Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister, Gaston Brown, defends a new ultimatum for undocumented immigrants in Antigua and Barbuda. Internationally, U.S. President Donald Trump says White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt leaves her post. Good evening, we are your presenters, Rhonda Luke. And I am Ronaldo Luke Pascal. Details of the news when we return.
Bundle and watch $98 flow back into your pocket. It's simple. Just add mobile to broadband and save big with Flow. Get fiber fast Wi-Fi at home and all the data you need on the go. We've got you covered everywhere. So what are you waiting for? It's connection times 2 and up to $98 in savings for you. Add mobile to broadband today and take your connection to the next level. Visit in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Police are investigating the discovery of a decomposed body in the Capuchin area. A search team comprising the fire and ambulance service and the police discovered the body, which was located halfway down a precipice in Capuchin. DBS News cannot confirm the identity of the body. Meantime, the police will convene a press conference tomorrow morning to provide an update on the missing 16-year-old Jabia Paul of Portsmouth. Paul was last seen on July 24th. A police officer was arrested this week in connection with a disappearance, and he is currently in police custody. In more news, 6 cultural stalwarts in Dominica will receive the Golden Drum Award on Friday. The Golden Drum Award is Dominica's highest cultural award.
The Government of Dominica, through the Ministry of Culture, will host its annual Golden Drum Awards this Friday, August 14th at 7 p.m. at the State House Conference Center. At this prestigious ceremony, we will bestow Dominica's highest cultural honor upon 6 of our cultural icons and will present an additional 5 special recognition awards in the areas of stillpan music, traditional dance, contemporary music, music education, and fashion design. All of these awardees have worked tirelessly over decades to the growth, preservation, and advancement of our rich cultural heritage, and are truly deserving of this honor. We salute their sterling contributions and extend heartfelt congratulations to them all. Our Golden Drum awardees are Mr. Jerry Moulon for contemporary music, Miss Leanne Christian for music education, choral leadership, performance, and sacred music ministry, Miss Lauren Del Sol for Creole wear and traditional culture, Mr. Robert Armstrong James for contemporary and classical music, Mr. Birdie Phillip for traditional dance and folk music, and Mr. Justin Toussey for traditional dance.
Minister for Culture, Greta Roberts. Meantime, 5 will receive special recognition awards.
Our special recognition awards will be presented to Andrea Louis for stillpan music, the St. John's Primary School for traditional dance and music, Marie Pascal Afana for contemporary music performance and choral music, Dighton Voler for music performance and education, and Mickey Graham for fashion design.
Minister for Culture, Greta Roberts. Also making the news, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has endorsed the decision by Jungle Bay Resort and Spa to name the new Soufriere preschool after the late Canadian investor Dominic Marchand. Mashand and her partner, Daniel Langwa, who contributed extensively to the Soufriere community, were brutally murdered in the Galio area in 2023. The preschool was handed over to the Ministry of Education on Tuesday.
I wish to acknowledge the late Dominique Masha and her partner, Daniel Langwa, who developed a deep connection with Dominica, and in particular with the community of Soufriere. They came to our shores, discovered something truly special in our country, and chose to become part of the community and to give back in meaningful and lasting ways. This is the kind of relationship we want people to develop with Dominica. We welcome those who come to invest, to live, and to enjoy our natural beauty. But we value even more deeply those who become part of the communities in which they live, who get to know our people, support local causes, and find ways to leave something meaningful behind. This preschool is therefore a fitting tribute to Dominique Masha. Every morning when children walk through these doors, her name will be associated with learning, opportunity, and hope. There can hardly be a more meaningful legacy. I therefore wish to express on behalf of the government of Dominica, and especially the people of Soufriere, our appreciation for the contribution that Dominic and Daniel made to this community and to our country, Dominica.
And that was Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. Still on the local scene, human rights advocate Delia Coffee Weeks has welcomed a High Court ruling requiring abortion to be legally available in certain circumstances, including rape, incest, serious fetal conditions, and to protect the life or health of a pregnant woman. The case was brought against the government of Dominica by Women's Choice, Minority Rights Dominica, Miridum, and Aspire. Coffee Weeks described the July 23rd ruling as a progress for women's rights that could lead to the further reproductive health reforms.
Well, for me, it's been a long time coming, but change must come. I am very happy that at least women are beginning to be granted that right of autonomy over their being. And this is what we had been asking for, that carte blanche thing where abortion is illegal. No. Every landslide begins with the movement of one little pebble. And so the movement has started, and I am super happy. The thing about it is that a lot of the naysayers think that, oh, if you give women that right, then people will be having abortions willy-nilly. No, there will still be people who will not consider abortion for them. That is their right. For the people who need it, they need to have this as an option. And I am happy that this has come through, change is coming, and I am looking forward to different changes because people constantly fight things until it comes home to roost and until they need it. And when they need it, then they clamor for change. Let us not wait until it is sitting on your doorstep for us to ask for fundamental human rights for everybody.
Human rights advocate Delia Coffee Weeks. Meantime, Mrs. Coffee Weeks says another issue requiring urgent attention in Dominica is the need to review and change the country's age of consent laws.
Every now and again when something happens, then people clamor about it. Just for a moment and it disappears. I am still 100% behind moving the age of consent so that it aligns with the age of majority, where a person can independently vote or get married without parental consent, which is 18. And there are other things that somehow we turn a blind eye because it's not affecting us, but how do we put systems in place to alleviate the plight of truly vulnerable people within our societies? so that we do not continue to cultivate an environment of mendicancy where people are so vulnerable that the piper who pays them can tell them to do anything, and sometimes even against their own conscience. Because they are so needy, they end up doing what they know is wrong, but what they need to do to keep themselves and their families afloat.
Human rights advocate Delia Coffee Weeks. In more news, the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce, DAIC, has welcomed the 2026-2027 national budget. The $1.24 billion budget was approved in Parliament on Friday.
The Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce welcomes the overall direction of the 2026-2027 national budget. We see it as an ambitious and reform-oriented budget with a number of measures that align with the issues of DAIC and the wider business community that we've raised through our ongoing dialogue with the government. We particularly welcome the reduction in personal income tax to 10% from January 2027, the employment tax rebate and the additional EC 19 million in financing being made available to micro, small and medium-sized enterprises. These measures have the potential to increase disposable income, encourage employment and support business growth. We also welcome the reforms around customs, waste management, commercial property development and population renewal. Attracting skilled workers, entrepreneurs and returning Dominicans is particularly important if we are to strengthen our workforce and grow the domestic economy.
And that was President of the DAIC, Olive Stratton. She says, however, while the DAIC welcomes the 2026-2027 budget, implementation will be critical.
Policies must translate into lower business costs, faster and more efficient public services, increased investment and greater productivity. We need clear timelines, accountability and transparency so that the private sector and citizens can see the benefits of the measures announced. DAIC also believes there is more work to be done, particularly around energy costs, investment facilitation, reducing unnecessary regulatory burdens, renewable energy and property reform. Overall, DAIC welcomes the budget as a positive step, but we believe strong execution must now follow strong policy. We remain committed to constructive public sector dialogue to ensure that these reforms deliver tangible benefits for businesses, workers and households across Dominica.
President of the DAIC, Olive Stratton. In news from the Electoral Office, distribution of voter ID cards has continued for the Rosa North constituency. Chief Elections Officer Anthea Joseph says there are guidelines to be followed associated with the collection of ID cards.
The voter card distribution has been progressing as planned. Yesterday, distribution commenced in the following electoral districts: NO4 Upper Goodwill, NO5 Bellevue Road, NO6 Fonkule, NO7 Stock Farm and Yampis. The exercise went well and distribution continues today with the addition of NO8 Louisville, NO9 Gota Village, Tarish Pit, including persons in Goodwill with surnames A to H, and NO10, which is Mon Daniel. Distribution has been taking place from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. throughout the day and will continue for the rest of the week, including on Saturday and Sunday. Distribution for the electoral district NO1, NO2 and NO3 will commence on Friday. Persons collecting their voter identification cards are reminded to bring some sort of identification when coming to collect their cards. Person collecting cards on behalf of other individuals must present a letter of authorization together with the required stamp of 25 cents. The electoral office encourages everyone to follow the guidelines and to bring in the necessary documents to ensure smooth and efficient distribution process.
Chief Elections Officer Anthea Joseph. Finally, on the local scene, Minister for Community Development Greta Roberts says a recent government decision to provide village councils in Dominica with $100,000 each will help to empower them. The announcement came during the 2026-2027 budget debate.
We believe in putting resources in the hands of our local mini government, our councils in communities, and I'm happy to report that the government has provided every single council across Dominica with $100,000 so they can continue to work on projects that are of high impact in the communities and to work in communities, improving the lives of the people in their respective communities. Given the roles that councils play in communities, in mobilizing communities, we are also collaborating with the Ministry of Health in the implementation of a national Healthy Village initiative. This seeks to enhance the resilience of communities in the fight against non-communicable diseases, NCDs. Some of these activities include a village healthy living committee and the establishment of recreational spaces for activities to include physical activity.
And that was Minister for Community Development, Greta Roberts. That's the national news, regional and international up next.
Bundle and watch $98 flow back into your pocket. It's simple. Just add mobile to broadband and save big with Flow. Get fiber fast Wi-Fi at home and all the data you need on the go. We've got you covered everywhere. So what are you waiting for? It's connection times 2 and up to $98 in savings for you. Add mobile to broadband today and take your connection to the next level. Visit in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
DBS News.
From the region, Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown is defending a new ultimatum for undocumented immigrants in Antigua and Barbuda to regularize their stay. The cabinet says, with immediate effect, immigrants whose legal status in Antigua and Barbuda has expired will have a maximum of 60 days to regularize their status with the Immigration Department.
We have always been pro-immigrants because immigrants have made a very important contribution to the advancement of this country. And as we continue to expand the country's economy, we will need more immigrants. But this idea that people can just come in willy-nilly into the country and stay and overstay, and that years later we just go and just, give them these amnesties. You have to respect our immigration policies. You have to respect our laws. And when you come here, if you get 6 months and there's no further time, leave the country.
Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown. Internationally, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt is leaving her role at the end of the month to spend more time with her family. NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba reports on the announcement.
Caroline Leavitt is the president's top spokesperson. She is, of course, the most public-facing person for the White House after the president in terms of trying to deliver and convey his message. And she is someone who really has been with him for years, was on the campaign trail with him, certainly leading up to the 2024 election. But she writes now in a post on her own social media explaining why she has made this difficult decision and saying that it has been an absolute honor and adventure of a lifetime, but that because of the new baby daughter that she welcomed just a matter of weeks ago, really, she came back to work just in the last month or so. She says, I have felt in my heart that since returning to work, I cannot be the best mom my 2 young children deserve, while devoting the constant time and energy that is, of course, required of the White House press secretary.
NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba. That's the news. We've been your presenters, Rhonda Luke and Ronaldo Luke Pascal. The sports comes up next with Gavin Richards.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Evening Sports Report. Let's begin with some volleyball news as the men's national volleyball team opened up their campaign in the ECVA Men's Volleyball Championships in the British Virgin Islands with a dominating showing over Bermuda as that tournament got underway this morning. Well, Dominica took the opening set 25-19 and won the second set 25-22. They, however, dropped the third set 25-22 before taking the fourth set and the match 25-21. Dominica won the game 3-1. Well, the Dominica men's team will be in action again tomorrow when they take on Anguilla. Meantime, the Dominica women's team went down to Anguilla in a 5-set thriller. Dominica were leading 14-12 in the fifth and final set, but they couldn't get that important match point to close out the game. Anguilla won the set eventually 16-14 and the match 3-2. So that's Anguilla winning 3-2, winning the fifth and final set 16-14 after Dominica had a 14-12 lead. Well, Dominica will play Bermuda in their next match tomorrow. Some cricket news now. The search is on for a new head coach for the Windward Islands Volcanoes cricket team. This as the contract of Kenroy Peters has come to an end. The president of the Windward Islands Cricket Board, Clement Masler, says the Volcanoes are accepting applications for the position.
Yes, the term of the sitting coach, Mr. Kenroy Peters, has come to an end, and we are looking for the talent that is out there, the coaching pedigree that's out there to really assist our team. Bearing in mind that our team we're trying to do a transition into ensuring that we have new talent coming through the ranks and giving our players the best opportunity. Juxtapose that to the past 2 years, the outings were not as we expected, and as in any sport, you want to ensure that you create the best opportunities for your players and showing that the franchise or your team is moving in the right direction. So that is the junction that we're at, and we're just hoping that we could get what we deserve and what we need of at this point in time.
I believe the deadlines for applications on the 21st of August. So how soon are you hoping to have a new coach in place?
Well, they will have the normal process of conducting the interviews. We have advertised it to ensure that the process is transparent, and then everyone who has interest can indicate that interest through the application. There will be. It is also done in conjunction with CWI, Cricket West Indies, who is also the parent organization. Bearing in mind that whatever we do, we want it to be in line with what some of the goals, most of the goals and objectives of Cricket West Indies. Nonetheless, we would have that interview process, and then the selection, the top candidates would be presented to the board.
And that's the president of the Windward Islands Cricket Board, Clement Masler. National cricket captain Stefan Pascal has welcomed the proposal to have players under the age of 25 as part of the upcoming Dominica Cricket Association's Intermediate League. Well, Pascal made the comments while a guest on the Creole Heartbeat program this morning. He says currently there's not enough cricket being played on the island.
Currently there's the Intermediate League coming up. There's certain guidelines. So I believe it's under 25. People under 25 could play, that played in the Premier League, sorry. First class players can't play, so I can't play. But I feel they made some changes so that more cricket could be played for national cricketers and even cricketers that played in the Premier League, because it was tough, just playing 5 games a year, them just playing 5 games a year, and they can't play any more cricket. Obviously we had the T10, but that's no more, so it's tough just preparing for 5 games in a year.
So you're suggesting to the authorities more cricket should be played?
For sure. For sure. More cricket, you learn more. You get in different situations more often, so you know your awareness gets better. You know what to do in certain situations. So obviously more cricket needs to be played. So that's something that we really need to look at.
And that's our national cricket captain, Stefan Pascal. Windward Islands women's under-19 captain, Dominica's Kayla George, led from the front of the bat, helping the Windward Islands to their first win in the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars under-19 tournament as they got past Guyana in a low-scoring encounter this afternoon in Antigua. While the Windward Islands batted first, they made 94 for 3 in their 20 overs. Dominica's Kayla George, the captain, she top scored with 21 not out. Michaela Adams got 20, while Guyana in reply were restricted to 78 for 8 in their 20 overs. Amy Antoine, she picked up 3 for 20, Gaida Small 3 for 13, and Jada Terrell 2 for 12 for the Windwards. The Windwards won by 16 runs. In other results today, Trinidad remained unbeaten with a win over the Leeward Islands, and Barbados got the better of Jamaica. Let's move to some football news now, as the national under-14 footballer Malachi John is hoping to put his best foot forward as he gets set to represent the national boys under-14 team at the CFU Challenge in the Dominican Republic. Well, Dominica has been grouped with Antigua, the Cayman Islands and the Turks and Caicos Islands in the tournament, which gets underway this week. Well, John says that he's excited, or he was excited with the news that he made the team.
When I get the message, my mother called me, asked her what happened. She told me I made the team. I was more excited than I thought I'd be, because it's like I represented my country, not just traveling and just going and play football. It's like I represented my country. I going up there for worth instead of just playing football. Yeah.
All right, you're going to be a midfielder on the team, and that's a very important position in number 8, box-to-box sort of midfielder. What do you hope to bring?
Chances to the game. I just feel that when I'm in the midfield position, I can handle the ball, give passes, create chances, be a team player.
What's your confidence level like as you head into this competition, you and the rest of your teammates? Confident that you guys can do well in the Dominican Republic?
Of course, 100%. Yeah, man, I'm confident we can win our games, reach finals, bring the trophy back home. And
that's the national under-14 footballer Malachi John. Cameron Thomas will play as centre-back.
It's my first time and I'm pretty excited. And it's a huge honor to represent my country.
Huge honor. All right, and you're a centre-back on this team. What do you hope to bring to the national team?
I defend well, I fast, and I good at football.
What do you think of your chances in this competition in the Dominican Republic?
I think our chances are very high. We've been training hard for basically a whole year. So yeah, I believe we can bring home a trophy.
All right. What do you think are some of the strong points of this team as a unit?
Well, we attack well. Some shots are very good. We have the shots on target, and our defense is pretty strong.
All right, and coming up against some of the bigger countries, like you say, it's your first time. Do you feel any sort of added pressure as a youngster coming up against some of the big countries?
Yeah, I am actually nervous, but I just trust God. So once we pray, I believe we can bring home a trophy.
And that's the national under-14 footballer Cameron Thomas. Tafari Baron is also another member of the team.
When I heard it, I was overwhelmed because it's been a dream of mine since I was like 5 years old when I started with my first academy. I was very overwhelmed and I was happy when my parents told me the news. I almost cried because of the excitement, and it's an honor to represent my country.
All right, and you're a centre-back defender. You can also play in the full-back position?
Yes, I can.
All right, so how do you think these attributes will help you to be part of this team?
I think it can help the team if like someone is injured or need to transition the positions. I could play that position and I could help the team out a lot with that. Some of my strong points is that I can win the ball in the air. I am aggressive. I can block shots. I can read some attackers when they dribble. I can stop attacks. I can delay. I can do a lot of stuff.
And that's the national under-14 footballer Tafari Baron. Meantime, head coach of the boys under-14 team, Oris Mills, feels that Dominica's chances are as good as any in the competition.
Overall, preparations has been going good. The players selected, most of them came from the academy, with few of them coming to join us from overseas. And mostly the boys have been putting in the work, taking on information from the coaches. The staff have been very helpful, and I always want to applaud them on that because they give me great support in the preparation. So we are feeling confident. We are not going there to underestimate any teams and feel like we can just automatically go through. We plan on being as competitive as we possibly can and really going out there, giving the best, giving a good showing, playing with passion, playing with courage, being brave for our country.
All right, I know it's a young team, but would you say the team has an identity as to how you would like them to play?
Yes, we do. We play with the principles that we try from our youth team going up to our senior teams, how we want to play in possession, how we want to play out of possession, how we want to organize and structure ourselves, how we want to play in the two transitions. So it is something that we have been working on for quite a bit of time, even coming from our academy. So the players should be very knowledgeable of how we actually are trying to play in possession and out of possession.
What would you think would probably be the biggest challenge for you on this upcoming tour?
I think it always comes down to what is the most important thing in football, scoring goals. I'm very confident that we will do well defensively. Not saying that I'm not confident that we can score goals, but, you know, plenty of the big matches or the tight matches are decided by who takes the chances. So that's something we are working on now as we are in our final stage of preparation. And hopefully by the time we are done here, when we do get the chances in the matches, we're able to take them and get some goals on the board.
And as the head coach of the boys under 14 football team, Oris Mills, so Dominica will be participating in that major football competition in the Dominican Republic next week. We'll end with a cricket item because the CPL, that's the Caribbean Premier League, continues tonight with the St. Lucia Kings at home taking on Alec Athenaeus and the rest of the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. That game is scheduled for 7 o'clock tonight at the Darren Sammy National Stadium in St. Lucia. Of course, the Patriots, they lost their opening encounter on the weekend as they struggled against Sulin Orion and the Knight Riders, bowling attack. And of course, they're taking on the St. Lucia Kings, who are coming off a win in their opening match. Last night, we saw half centuries from Shufin Rutherford and Brandon King as the Barbados Tridents edged out the Jamaican Kingsmen in a high-scoring thriller. Of course, we saw the Tridents getting 206 for 3, and the Kingsmen chasing 207, well, they got to 201 for 9. Let's see what the CPL has in store for us this evening. But that's why we'll come to the end of the DBS Evening Sports Report. Of course, we'd like to thank everyone for listening. On behalf of the entire News and Sports Department, our links person DJ Halo Boy, Gavin Richards saying good evening.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Welcome to this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 12th day of August 2026. We begin with this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Death Announcements. We announce the death of Macmillan James John Baptist, better known as Mr. Macmillan or Mr. Mac, age 90, of Citronnier, who resided at Roseau. He died on Monday, the 12th of July. He was the proprietor of Macmillan Service Limited. He was the father of Marvelyn, Marcus, Roland and Burton John Baptist. He will also be remembered by his grandchildren, Marcus, Marlicus and Brielle John Baptist, his nieces, Dolores, Althenia, John Philip King, Jacqueline James, Jennifer, Barbara and Paula Philip. His nephews, Haynes John Philip and Gregory Norton. Many cousins to include Worrell, Armstrong Selaire, Shirley Lawrence, Euthely Remy, Carrie Ann, Augustina, Rowan, Brandon, Bradley, Martin, Odette, Sean, Kimara and Ina. Caregivers, Celia, Maxwell Hamilton, Alexia Athanas and Dr. Joseph. Close relatives and friends to include Hesketh Gregoire, Gustav Williams, Roy Joseph, Cynthia Shaw, Merle and St. Rose, Augustus Harris, Clayton Monroe, Diane Dyer Chambers, and Mrs. Singula Bloom Chris Williams, Rosalind Barron, Isaac Baptist, Alvin John Phillip, and Patterson Pascal, the staff and patrons of Macmillan Service Stations, the management and staff of West Indies Oil Company Limited, The communities in the south to include Bagatelle, Font-Saint-Jean and Belleville-Chopin. Many other relatives and friends both here and abroad, names too numerous to mention. The body of the late Mr. Macmillan James John Baptist, better known as Mr. Macmillan or Mr. Mark of Citronnier, who resided at Roseau, can be viewed from 2:30 p.m. on Friday, the 14th of August 2026 at Our Lady of Fairhaven Cathedral, Roseau. The funeral mass will take place at 3 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Roseau Roman Catholic Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to